Well, now we know if they ever make another Don King biopic, we got Samuel L. Jackson for the role. Hello my beautiful geekies, and this is my review for Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This is directed by Tim Burton and written by Jane Goldman and stars Eva Green, Samuel L. Jackson and Asa Butterfield. Asa Butterfield plays a young boy who, after his grandfather died, he goes and searches for this mysterious place in this mysterious house that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. He finds these people through a cave where he travels through space and time. And once he gets there, the danger starts to unravel as he finds out more about Miss Peregrine, the children, and those who threaten them. This movie is in many aspects Harry Potter meeting X-Men meeting Mary Poppins, and all those ideas combined should make for a great movie, especially one directed by Tim Burton. And he does a great job with the visuals. He always has great set pieces, great looking shots. He has unique looks to his characters and to the world that surrounds them, and he transmits that in this movie. Honestly, there are things in this movie that when you see them, even things happening, or the look of some characters, or the way they do things, or talk, this must have been Tim Burton's dream project. And I mean that in the most sincere way. There are things in this movie that show off his creativity as a visual storyteller so well. But then there are other things that stop that completely. And I mean, the worst problem that this movie has is the script. Again, I don't know how faithful this is to the books, but if it is that faithful, well, there are a lot of stupid characters in the books. Especially in the last half hour of the movie, there are some characters who make such stupid decisions you wouldn't believe. There are so many inconsistencies in the way characters work and how they think, and there are many plot holes, some that I could not believe as I was watching this movie. This movie could have been great, and I mean great. This movie had everything as it was starting to be one of my favorite movies of the year. And in the directing department, Tim Burton does what he can, and he does a really good job. And again, this must have been a dream project of his, because everything that is visible in this movie is a Tim Burton movie. Now, the script by Jane Goldman does feature a lot of problems. The actors transmit that as well. I mean, I love Asa Butterfield. From Hugo to Ender's Game, which he was the only good part of for me, he does nothing in this movie. His character is boring, and even his performance is really bland. He always has the same face throughout the movie. He's always repeating what he has done in the scene previous. He's always asking questions. He's finding out things throughout the movie until the last second. There is not one moment where this character knows exactly how to handle himself, how to handle the characters around him, how to handle the world around him. And that is normal. He finds out this whole new world with people with powers and this whole time loop thing, and that's normal. But think about movies where characters start to find things out. Look at Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. He starts finding out these things about Jedi and the light side and the dark side, the Sith. He finds out that he has this connection to the Force. He doesn't stop to ask questions all the way through. He is proactive. He tries to do things on his own, tries to learn on his own. Of course, there are many characters hiding information from Jake, but it was his job to be more proactive in searching for said answers. And look, I love Eva Green. Eva Green is a queen, but in this movie, she is not bad, but there's just nothing that she does here where she shines. She's a very peculiar character. She's a very eccentric woman, a very mysterious woman. She seems like she's hiding some dark secrets, but there's just not any scene where you feel her badassery or you feel like she is a worthy mentor to a lot of children. And speaking of the children, they do almost nothing in this movie, with all their peculiarities, which are not once referred to as powers. Many people will lie to you about that. They are not powers. They are certain abilities that they can do that normal people can't. Some could be considered powers. others clearly can't. There are instances in this movie where you see something happening and you think, well, that peculiarity would have been interesting right here and there. But the children as characters themselves are very shallow, they're not very layered, they're not very well explored except for one or two or maybe three, and one of those three is a very bad actor and a very bad character. He always has this duck face throughout the movie and he is really annoying. Does one interesting thing that completely finishes his importance in the movie, and that's just it. That is one thing that this character does in the whole movie. And let's speak about Samuel L. Jackson. Look, Samuel L. Jackson can be really good in being over the top, but there's only one director that can get a good over the top performance out of Samuel L. Jackson, and that is Quentin Tarantino, because of his dialogue, because of the tone of the movie. And Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, he's supposed to be this big, scary, badass, haunting villain that has control over everyone and everything, and he just isn't. There are many moments in this movie where his character says a joke that just doesn't fit with what the character is doing, and he has many stupid things that he does in this movie as well. There are things that he does in this movie and you're asking yourself, well, why didn't you do that before and now you're doing this instead of doing that? There are just so many inconsistencies that leave you thinking, why wasn't this script looked over? Creatively and visually, Tim Burton does one heck of a job in showing you this world, in building this world around this character and the other peculiar children. Miss Peregrine is a character I wish I could have seen a lot more of. I wish I could have delved more into her character, and Samuel L. Jackson is just an inconsistent character where you could see that he has a lot of fun with the performance. The character himself just doesn't stick with you because it's so inconsistent in what he is as a character. And there are other aspects in this movie that leave you interested in what this movie doesn't show you or tell you. And for the first hour, there's really nothing happening. This movie could have deviated much more from the books if it is indeed truly faithful to them, which again, I do not know. But I can say that when this movie does things well, it does things well. There are action set pieces in this movie that are great to see. They are creative, they are fun, they are enthusiastic, they are dynamic. There is a lot to see in this movie where the children actually start to use their abilities, their peculiarities. This movie turns into everything that it should have been for the whole 2 hour and 10 minute run. Inconsistencies in the plot, a lot of plot holes, a lot of inconsistent and stupid characters, but the creativeness of Tim Burton shines. But I wish to see a second movie in this franchise with Tim Burton shining again as the director, but just with a tighter script and more work on the characters now that we know the world that it is around them. There's still fun to be had in this movie, but the inconsistencies in the script personally just hurt me too much. I cannot say this movie is very watchable a whole lot of times, but if you are a fan of the books, if you are a fan of the genre, if you are a fan of Tim Burton as a director, I can recommend it to you. Because of all that, I say Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is a C+. What did you think of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children? Did you read the book? If you did, let me know how faithful the movie is to it, and let me know as well what is your favorite Tim Burton directed movie. Also, if you don't know, my beautiful geekies, we are already running with the next Q&A ongoing. Just leave your questions about anything and how many questions you want with the hashtag DocStrangeQ&A. They can be about anything. Leave them in the comments below along with your thoughts on the movie. And if you want to stalk me on the internet, just go through my Facebook, Instagram, and my vlog channel. All those links are in the description, and you can know what I'm up to all the time with all my shenanigans. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. I love you all. Thank you once more. Stay beautiful, stay geeky. Cheers!